Well, guess I get to do this over. My card just dropped its pants and I missed about 15 minutes worth of video. So I'm going to have to do this a little differently than I wanted to. Alright. This is, whoa, hello. This is a Crosman cartridge, CO2 cartridge, that I just pulled out of this magazine, out of this Umarex G19x Glock, or Glock G19x, 177 BB pistol. Gun would not fire, and I figured out what the problem was. As you see here, without a magazine in it, you can move that trigger quite a distance. With the magazine in, then the way this works is you've got like 2 stages, even actually sort of 3, because you see this little stub piece here, you got to move that. And let's see if I can help you with seeing. It's dark outside, so let me get a little light on here if it will. Whoa, how about that? Alright, now can you see that little stub trigger thing here? That's a trigger safety. So you have to pull this through to about here, just about there, and then the way the trigger works on this, then it goes on through to release the gas in the gas valve here. And then the gas valve, of course, puts a BB through the chamber and downrange. And at the same time, the gas being worked upon in the opposite direction then blows the slide back like that. So you get a blowback slide. Now, I went ahead and put, and I've shot, I think, 6 or 8 BBs to it. Let's see. Yeah, about 6 or 8. So you can see the BBs here, and I will put these in, jack the slide. Now, what was wrong with the little sucker before is, and this is number 2, when I spoke to Umarex USA, and they're here in Arkansas, they told me the gun would not operate on Crosman CO2 cartridges, and the gun wasn't operating. This is number 2. They said there was nothing wrong with it, sent it back to me, and said the only problem was I wasn't using Umarex cartridges. Nowhere in the sales literature does it tell you I have to purchase a proprietary cartridge to shoot this little BB pistol. So I set out, since they told me that the problem was on my end, not the BB pistol, I thought, well, I'm either going to make it shoot, or it probably never going to shoot ever. So, and I'm an old gunsmith from way back, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you. Oh, by the way, and I mentioned a while ago, the trigger pulls back, it has real long travel, then it gets sort of a breakover point, and then goes quite a ways to the second part, which at that point in time you squeeze it again. So it's like a 3-4 point type pull, and that's supposed to open the gas valve. Now, it wasn't doing those things. So I decided to make it do that, so I used 2 fingers and I broke through the gas valve, whatever was keeping that gas valve from working, and the valves are in the magazines. So here's the thing, I've got 2 magazines. Well, the other one's inside here. So, and I don't want to waste another gas thing just to make these videos, but here we go. Did I not jack that? Well, the BBs have definitely rolled out of this. There you go. So that shows you the thing will work. Let's do it one more time. Now, it's been consistent since I've done this. It does shoots really hard, and they're on Crosman. Now, I did, since I took their word for it, and before I went ahead and ordered a box of their Umarex cartridges. And I'm going to open these again like I tore a fingernail off while I go getting in there where you can see it. But like I said, my card decided not to capture this. Still says it's recording there, so maybe it is. Now, as you can see, their cartridges has exactly the same amount of depth in their divots. Measured it, don't remember what it was, but they're the same. So the cartridges are identical. Oh, let me pull out a different one. There's the label on it, if you can see it. There you go. Little B label. They're not real proud of it. So I'll try them one of these days. So here's what I'm thinking. This little firearm, I'm sorry, it's not firearm, it's BB pistol. Only thing I see wrong with this now that it fires, and it's firing consistently. I think I've fired about 50 BBs through it so far, and it's not missed a beat. Shooting super hard. And I did leave it over the weekend with the gas cartridges in the magazines. We're not supposed to do that, but I did. And I just want to see if it's like every BB gun I've ever had, that they'll leak off. And they did. So I intend to take the little BB pistol, set up a table, set up chronograph, targets, couple of cameras, and I know there's a ton of guys out there already doing this BB thing, and it wasn't something I really intended to do, but since this has been a really not a very good purchase, and after I talked to Umarex USA, they were going to replace this. Sent it to them, cost me like $12, $14 I think it was, to send it to them, and they sent it right back to me, told there's no issues. Well, it wouldn't fire. Got it back, still wouldn't fire. Talked to them on the phone, and they told me the issue was my problem, not the fire, not the pistol, because the pistol works fine. But there was no evidence, no proof of that. So I decided once again I'm going to make this thing shoot, and I ordered those Umarex cartridges. Well, I went ahead and put the Crossman cartridge in there, loaded the magazines with BBs, and I brought it out here, still no joy. So I thought, well, if they told me the problem has been in these triggers. They're having a lot of difficulties with them, a lot of issues. So I'm going to see if I can't make it over travel. Now, by over travel, I mean that it's supposed to come through and then break through again, and then the next pull is supposed to be very short, but just long enough travel to make the gas valve expand gas out of the cartridge into the magazine, which then puts a BB down range through the barrel, through the chamber and out the barrel. Which also, the blowback comes from the gas putting the BB out, the gas working on the slide, then of course jacks it back. So that didn't happen. So I thought, well, if I pull hard enough on this thing, one or two things are going to happen. All that's pot metal, crap. There goes another airplane. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make this thing work. And I pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled until it felt like something broke. Don't know what it was. Can't find anything. Have never taken this apart. So it fired. I thought, man, that thing fires nice and hard. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it again. So pulled, and it got a little easier. It's at the point now, after 40 or 50 rounds, it's gotten to as easy as it's going to get, and I'd say it's probably 12, 15 pounds, if not more. And it has a lot of creep in it, and what happens is you pull, and you get into this expectation that the trigger is going to release the gas valve and it's going to do something, and you just anticipate so much that it's really hard to hit anything. But when I really jacked it down against the wall and got on it, I did get 3 rounds in a little circle I drew about that big around, and that's pretty good. But consistency on accuracy is not very good, and it's, in my opinion, being an old comp shooter, it's trigger. So I'm going to do at some point in time, after I do the shooting video on loading and all the things we're going to do, like shooting through a chronograph and all that, I'm going to do a series. I've got a pellet rifle in there, Hatson something another pellet rifle, and the trigger's 10,000 times worse than this. You can shoot it once and it cuts into your finger. It's got a square trigger, cuts into your finger. Bought a new trigger pull gauge, and it's actually an old analog, which I like, and we're going to find out how much it takes to pull that trigger. But it's a bunch, and it will hurt your finger. You don't want to shoot it after the second time. You're done. So I'm going to do a trigger job on that. I'm going to do a trigger job on this, and I'm going to get this thing down to about 2 1/4 pounds, somewhere in that area. And if you want to see those sort of videos, put a comment below, and I'll see if I can't get to that this winter. We'll see if we can't help you figure out yours if you've already purchased one of these things. If you haven't, I do want you to be aware that that trigger is a problem. You're not going to love the little gun right out of the plastic bubble pack, most likely. You might have just pulled one out and worked perfectly for you. I've had two, and I'm not happy with them, but now that I've got it working, I'm going to make it feel a lot more comfortable to me. And if you were to want to stop by and say, hey, I'd like to try that little weapon or little gun out, you know, bring some CO2 cartridges and BBs, we'll come out here and we'll shoot this thing. So with all that said, we hope that you got something out of this video. The gun does now work. It is consistent. It shoots hard, and it's going to get better. It's not going to get better on its own, but it's going to get better. So we appreciate you guys coming by Max's Garage Mahal. We thank you very kindly, and if you got anything out of this, give me a thumbs up. Share if you haven't already. Subscribe. And so far, I'm going to give this thing, I gave it 2 thumbs down in my first video because it was a major fail. I'm going to give it 1.5 thumbs at this point in time. Hopefully I can bring it to 2 thumbs, because surely every one of these things don't have the same problem. And if they do, Umarex, you need to buy them all back and give people something that fires for what they expected and whatever they paid for it. And that's what I'd do if I owned your company, and I don't. But anyway, that's how I'd operate my business if I were you. So I appreciate you guys. As we always say here at Max's Garage Mahal, y'all come back and see me now, yeah?